There's something powerful about listening to someone give a testimony about how they came to give their life to Christ. People have come out of so many terrible situations through the saving power of Jesus. Alcohol addiction, broken relationships, crime and prison, none of it is too destructive to prevent God from healing people from it. When we hear people talk about the lives they have been able to leave after God freed them, it's encouraging to us and helps build our faith. It's no wonder this is the case, as the Bible tells us that the word of our testimony has the power to triumph over Satan himself. This does, however, create a dilemma for some believers. I've known many people who have felt frustrated because they grew up in a Christian home, never got involved in anything too destructive, and although they still made some small mistakes in their life, they were always kind of a goody two-shoes who did their best to follow the rules and Jesus' example for their life. These people can feel like they have no testimony to share because they never went through an extraordinary life change when they encountered the love of God, because they always just kind of grew up with it. They see other people sharing their testimony and would like to contribute one of their own, but feel they don't have anything worthwhile to share. We even see this with people in the Bible. We know about Paul's story because he used to go around killing Christians before he became a believer. Peter was redeemed and forgiven after he denied even knowing who Jesus was 3 times. And Moses was a murderer in exile before he led the Israelites out of Egypt. The Bible is full of redemption stories. However, it is also full of powerful stories of people who were faithful to God throughout their life from the beginning. Joseph stayed faithful to God's teachings despite going through many difficulties and setbacks. Noah was handpicked by God to survive the flood because of his faithfulness in a world that had abandoned God. And Daniel refused to hide his faith even when threatened with death. They all still have a powerful testimony, despite never getting caught up in the destructive habits of the world. This is something that Christians who feel like they have no testimony need to remember. The world offers plenty of ways for people to destroy their lives, and there's no shortage of people who struggle to get through their life. But only through God can people find a life that is all-fulfilling. That's what can make the testimony of someone who grew up as a Christian meaningful. The people who are caught up in worldly living are desperately seeking a way to feel loved, joyful, and at peace, but the world has nothing to offer them to meet that need. Yet people who have grown up with God do. We know what it's like to grow up feeling loved, to experience the world with joy in our hearts, and to go through stressful times with a peace that goes beyond normal understanding. If you're like me and you grew up as a believer, don't be ashamed that your testimony isn't full of sections where you fell away from God and were lost for many years. Be thankful of the testimony that you do have. We can tell people that the kind of life they've been dreaming for is possible to attain because we've been blessed enough to experience it. It wasn't even because of anything we did through our own power. It came from the grace of God and good upbringing from our parents. There is a hope for people lost in this world. We've seen it. We've lived it, and it's our job to share that story to people who feel like the world is nothing but death and hardships. They can have the life they've dreamed of if they are willing to accept God's love and follow His teachings. We know it's true because it's what we've experienced our whole lives. Listen to our testimony. If you'd like to talk to me more about this or have a question you'd like me to address, you can contact me through the Sermon in the Pocket Facebook page or email me at sermoninthepocket@gmail.com. Also, if you like what I'm doing and want to support this podcast, you can do so on the Sermon in the Pocket Patreon page. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and have a wonderful day.